If you came to Ohio as a pioneer, you would have seen trees, lots of trees. Huge trees everywhere. Your travel would have taken you on dirt paths through the forests of Ohio. There were lots of animals roaming the Ohio forests, including deer, squirrels, bears, turkeys, cougars, and bobcats, just to name a few. Many pioneers traveled hundreds of miles in Conestoga wagons pulled by horses or oxen. Children often walked hundreds of miles beside the wagon. Early settlers needed to cut down trees to build homes and clear fields. Some used axes and others two-man saws. Yoked oxen were often used to plant the fields, while scythes could be used to harvest wheat. In 1807, the first local settler, John Cook Heron, built a cabin in this area. Looking inside the cabin, you might find a kitchen like this. It would have been the envy of every pioneer wife. More settlers came. Joshua Lobdell planted the first orchard in 1809. Settlers set up shops. Samuel Clark established the first blacksmith shop in 1811. School began in 1812 in the old Cornell cabin. Later, this one-room schoolhouse was built. In 1894, a two-story brick schoolhouse was built. Teachers boarded with the families of the village. Early school buses were run by local farmers. Students paid to ride them. Today, students ride the yellow school bus. Students attend school in this building as they wait for the new facilities to be completed. St. Albans Township attracted early settlers because of the great water sources like the Lobdell and the Raccoon. The abundant waterways led to the building of mills. You see the huge turning wheel that provided the power to grind the grain into flour. This is a picture of the mill that used to be located at the end of Mill Street in Alexandria. The very first grist mill was built in 1818. Alexander de Bilbus founded the village in 1830. He lived in this house on Liberty Street. Sawmills were built. Looking inside this sawmill, you can see the pulleys that were powered by the water wheel to move the saw blades that cut the wood. The first post office was established in 1833. Here, a family waits outside in their horse and buggy. This building served as the local post office for the village. Much of the early mail was transported using horses. Today, our post office is located on the corner of Main and Liberty. Now, trucks are used to deliver mail. Churches sprang up. First to build were the Methodists, then the Congregational Church, and soon after that, the Baptists. The churches in Alexandria today include Methodist, Church of Christ in Alexandria, Baptist, and the Emmanuel Praise. One well-known pioneer establishment was the Old Tavern. If you look closely, you can see the first hand pump used in the village. In the early 1900s, this town hall was built to house the local government. Here they would hold court as well as public meetings. Unfortunately, it caught fire and was burned down. This is where decisions are made for our village today. The mayor oversees the governing process. An election is held, and people of the village vote for who they want for mayor. Bridges make travel easier. Bridges made of wood were covered to protect the floor from rotting. This bridge was once on a farm near Alexandria. This iron bridge would have been used to get to Granville. All aboard! Trains were popular in 1896. Waiting for a train to arrive here at Alexandria Station, built in the 1880s. Here comes a passenger train, right on schedule. It looks like the old T&O might be a bit late to arrive. Steam trains needed water to run, and Clemens Station supplied it. Here comes a worker. Will he get to the station on time? The railroad tracks have since become the bike path, and remains of Clemens Station can be found there. Alexandria's original railroad station has been moved to Liberty Street and remains there today. Alexandria's livery housed and rented horses for the community in the 1900s. Today, this is the township building. Horses and buggies were used for travel in 1908. As the business block grew, more stores sprang up. Looks like a busy day in Alexandria. Buggies are parked outside the local bank and grocery store. The Anderson Hotel had a balcony. The stairs on the outside led to a billiard room and lunchroom. At one time, it was a bakery, but now it consists of apartments. Say cheese! You would have had to hold your smile for a long time at Hubbard's Photography. Before getting your picture taken, you could stop by the barber shop for a shave and a haircut. Telephones became popular in the early 1900s, and these operators were ready to help you place your call. The Shell station was once located on Granville Street. There you could get your car fixed as well as fill up with gas. Which way to Granville? Either way! Welcome to the triangle at the end of town. The road to the left is now Granville Street, and the one to the right is State Route 37. Let's take a drive through Alexandria today. As we enter the village, we see Main Street. You can always find an interesting book at the local library. Here's a great place to get your hair done. Looks like this place makes things using wood. Here are two places you can get a tasty treat: Drummy's Pizzeria and Ragamuffins. This building is very busy these days. You can find the bike shop, an insurance representative, and a doctor all in this one building. The fire station is always on alert to keep our village safe. To end our day in Alexandria, let's sit and take a rest up at Parker's Park. The most famous Alexandria citizen is Willoughby Dayton Miller. Born in 1853, he is known as the father of modern dentistry. There is a plaque by the library about him. Visit the Alexandria Museum on Sundays between 2 and 4 p.m. to explore more of the history of the village and see artifacts from the different time periods.